All right, everyone, weekly jobless claims, another bit of good economic news. The week-over-week jobless claims came in far under expectations. It was expected to be over like 210,000. It was actually getting down there to possibly in the near future, if it keeps falling, sub 200,000. It's the lowest weekly jobless claim level in 49 years. Also significant because, of course, 49 years ago, the U.S. population was considerably lower. Unemployment right now we're cleaning the clock of all of the old records with regards to the economy. That's one thing that inarguably Trump has been doing very, very well on. In fact, that's why the good economic news, I think, is the one shining thing that the Republicans can hope for if they retain the House or the Senate. It'll be because Trump is doing a good economic job at this point in time. That and the growth of the alt media that's willing to talk about it, other than you see a page B article usually. Like CNN, it's not going to come in with a front page article saying, well, Trump he hasn't collapsed the economy. The stock market's at all-time highs. Unemployment's getting down near all-time lows. For certain groups, it already is. Jobless claims are down. Unemployment has fallen. GDP growth is beginning to climb up towards, really, really good levels. Everything's fine. Canada just announced the other day. This was another piece of good economic news. They're ready now to actually strike a deal with regards to NAFTA. That is, Canada, which had been sort of holding back, didn't want to get involved, like Trudeau didn't want to make a deal. It looks like the Canadians are signaling, okay, we've had enough pain. We've got this problem with Saudi Arabia too, diplomatically. Now, we need somebody to be our friend because nobody else will be. Oh, that's right, the United States. Been our best friend for 100 years. Kind of makes sense. It does make sense. And that's that's certainly a win for Trump because a lot of people thought that the trade struggle would go against him. That is, that Canada would never sign on to a new deal. Trump would have to scrap NAFTA entirely, and that somehow this would be a net negative for the United States. It wouldn't hurt anybody else. It's just like the Chinese tariff deal. He's actually getting praised by a handful now of actual economists, saying, he's the only person who's, actually attempted to rein China in. Probably, the U.S. is the only economy big enough to do so anyway. We're the only one that trades enough and has a big enough military to get away with it. They are on the losing end. It's not affecting our economy. I'm looking around. Where's the negative effect of the U.S. economy because we're in tariff war with China? But China's feeling the pain. Investors are getting very nervous. Not investors into the U.S., investors into China. Namely groups like Apple that have outsourced all their labor and production facilities to China. Oh, goodness. By the way, if Apple were to move its facilities, it'd probably move them to India or Malaysia or something. They probably wouldn't bring them back here. Tim Cook hates the United States. That's why he wants to bring Chinese-style censorship to his crapple store. But as far as jobless claims go, to have it at a 49-year low is pretty significant. But again, you're not going to see it. It's not going to be emblazoned as front page news across your local newspaper or on CNN.com. They'll shove it onto the second page of CNN Money, which is, I believe, exactly what they did. You'll find it. Breitbart will report on it. I'll report on it. Other YouTube commentators, people with blogs, someone has a Steam it, they'll talk about it. You won't find it on the legacy media very much because, unfortunately, for them, they can't really talk right now about jobs and unemployment and the economy and GDP growth and the tariff wars and trade deals because Trump is winning. If you're going to portray someone as one-dimensional, that is, that they're a loser and inept, they've got Alzheimer's, they're evil, certainly a bigot, horrible person. You can't break that one-dimensionality by even for a moment making it seem like that person has a redeeming quality. That breaks the one-dimensionality. The propaganda becomes useless. Unfortunately, more and more people are becoming acutely aware in their own communities of the fact, yes, at the very least on money and jobs, Trump has been a godsend to this country. By the way, it's the money, stupid. It's all about the wallet. If the jobs market continues to perform well, the stock market continues to rise, consumer confidence remains high, wages continue to slowly claw their way back upwards from their slump since the fucking early 1970s. If all the markers there continue to be positive, which they are predominantly right now, and in fact getting more positive, it seems, over time. If that continues, Trump will win re-election regardless of foreign policy. It won't matter. He's already gotten his key to the White House with a major foreign policy success on Korea, even if nothing further happens. He had enough victories there so that he can talk about it and say, look, I did more than any of the past presidents have done. I had more success than them. Everyone thought I'd start World War III because CNN told them so. He's already got that. And then he's got the economy. Though that's all he needs. He doesn't need anything else. All the Democrats have to do is what they will predictably do, which is have a shitty candidate. They're going to have a boring neoliberal who's not mimetically friendly, who doesn't stand for populist working class values, because the corporations that run the DNC will choose, they will coronate who they want. It'll be some missing link individual that, if not for the internet, would be able to get away with it, and this is why they want hefty internet censorship, because they want to be able to shut down people who would keep them accountable and talk about their true past, which will inevitably be corporate neoliberalism. That's essentially what it is. They don't want people like me to be on the internet talking about how the economy is going along steady and Trump isn't actually a bigoted individual, and it's not bullying someone to go up to the media and say, hey, you are fake. What you are saying is a lie. That's not bullying. It's not harassment. It should be seen as totally okay to oppose the lies of the corporate complex. But these corporations, of course, they don't want that to happen. Yeah, so when you don't see all the economic... When the economy page of your local newspaper mysteriously gets shoved back further after the sports section, after, used to be like on the second page, and now for some reason they moved it to the back with the Sudoku puzzle, yeah, you'll no longer have to wonder why. It's because they don't want to talk about the economy. Probably scrap it all together. I'm surprised CNN hasn't banned all mention of Trump from their money page. By the way, as an aside, I seem to recall, didn't Huffington Post, after the election, say they weren't even going to talk about Trump? Like, oh, we're not going to delve into the outrage. And now, of course, that's all they talked about. I think it was them. Or was it Salon or one of those groups? They didn't want to talk about it because it was triggering. It was upsetting to them. They thought that their fans would cry, they'd break down and smash their own toys, essentially. They'd lose it. They'd go psycho. Well, they are psychos, a lot of these people. That's why they're taking Salon or Huffington Post seriously. Maybe a Vox or a Right Wing Watch or a BuzzFeed. If you take these publications seriously, look, you probably don't even know anything about the jobless claims because they weren't reported on. They're not going to be reported on because it breaks the propagandist mentality that's being spun around people. It would be like if when Trump's approval falls. Is Breitbart going to cover it, or are they only going to talk about it from the perspective of these polls are fake? Well, no, not necessarily. You can certainly be skeptical and question the polling methodology, but you should still actually report on it. Which is what I did, which is what people on YouTube did. You don't really get this even from the missing link media. It's like, why even bother? That's about all. Peace out.